Hey folks, Kevin Jackson. Just want to give you a quick take on Down syndrome Barbie and Steven Crowder. I've known Steven for well over a decade, watched his career develop, and have been very impressed with him. Ahead of his time, young comedian, different way of thinking, refreshing for the conservative movement in many ways. I remember when he got his deal at Fox. Wasn't jealous of him. I was curious, how do you do that? Even reached out to Steven, got to be friends with his dad. And I've watched his career develop, and Steven gave me the best advice that I never took. He says, hey, Kev, you got to focus on social media. He was doing a show every week on Thursday and had about 50,000 people that would watch it. And a lot of sketch comedy stuff I love to do, by the way, but he was very consistent. That's what he did. And I watched him and I said, congratulations. I didn't do it. I thought, oh, Kevin, you're too busy. You're creating. And I was. We're swamped over here. No offense, but we have a lot more things going for us. Movies, movie studio, daily blog, daily radio show, things like that. People could say, Kevin, those are distractions, but it all fits together in the cosmic scheme and where God was wanting me to go and where I believe he still wants me to go. We set up an education nonprofit, took a lot more time, family issues, sons issues with them. One of my youngest son, developing, going through puberty, spending a lot of time with him, health issues with Melissa, and so on and so forth. I had things on my plate. So I didn't take social media to heart. Steven did. Kept building. And it got to the point where he got so big, he was making lots of money. And his attitude changed a little bit, not necessarily for the bad. Things are going to change as you make more money. I'm happy that the clicks on his product gave him a living, made him a living. Good for him. He was on YouTube, blowing and going. But this latest move with Down syndrome Barbie is one that gets me. I don't understand this. The one thing that I said when I started doing this was, I will make fun of anything. Anybody that can fight back. You got to fight. I don't care who you are, cancer survivors, whatever. Everything's got humor in it. I do a bit on a guy with a 105-pound scrotum. I mean, when do you go to the doctor and say, Doc, I need to get this thing off me? You're carrying around a teenage boy in your crotch, and you don't think to go in and get it fixed? I mean, it's rife with humor. I get it. It's not funny. It wasn't funny to the guy that did it. I don't know why he didn't go in. But I talk about all of it. Any type of illness, disease, or whatever, we laugh to keep from crying. That's what humor is about. That's what comedy is about. But I won't fight people that can't fight back, which I know there are a lot of people saying, Kevin, then why do you pick on leftists and Democrats? I get it. But what I mean by that is Down syndrome. I met a lady that had a Down syndrome baby, came through St. Louis, and I actually got to go spend time with her. This was years ago. But I wrote about somebody saying, Kevin, it was something, I think maybe I'd written something about it, and it seemed rather flippant. But the message was so well received by me that I said, you know what? Even though I may not have meant it to be that way, I'm going to publicly declare that I will not mess with people, whether you're autistic or you got Down syndrome, anything like that. I'm not messing with you. I actually love these people. The autistics show me what the mind is capable of. Have you seen these people? They are amazing. They've never played piano, but they're virtuosos. They've never been to a foreign country, but they can speak a language like that. They can fly over a cityscape and paint it or draw it exactly to scale. Are you kidding me? What's to make fun of? I aspire to be that brilliant. And as far as Down syndrome kids go, you want to see God? Meet a Down syndrome kid, a Down syndrome person. That is the closest we get to God on earth. A person that has no agenda. You meet them and they meet you on your terms. They aren't angling to get something from you. They're not looking at you as money. There's no malice. There's no vitriol, nothing. You know what they do? They let you determine how they're going to behave towards you. They are the best glimpse of God we get. And it absolutely pisses me off when I see leftists go, well, we could get rid of a baby in the event of Down syndrome. What? Those are the people that teach us to be human. So, Stephen, why mock them? Barbie wants to do a doll to pay homage to the best women on the planet, the Down syndrome woman that has no agenda. She accepts you. They accept you as you are. They are the closest thing to the epitome of what humanity is supposed to represent than anybody on this planet. And the idea that people want to get rid of them sickens me. I'm just amazed. Look, man, there's a time to be funny. There's a time to think something's funny. And I get it. Barbie is the epitome of the perfect woman or whatever. Maybe if you're looking for physical beauty, that's the case. But if Mattel wants to make a doll for Down syndrome to draw attention to that, I'm all for it. I'm all for it 100%. This is not me trying to excoriate Steven Crowder. Steven is a good kid. He's maybe misdirected. He's going through what he's going through. He can deal with that any way he wants. I'm not getting after him in that regard. I'm getting after him in the way that maybe you should take a look at what he considers to be comedy, what he considers to be truly moving the needle for the conservative movement, and get away from trying to go for the laugh every time. Look, I'm a comedian on tour, my own tour, the Unapologetically American Tour. Yes, shameless plug. Topcomedyshow.com. And if you want to help fund it, fund it. We make fun of everything. We make fun of leftism. We make fun of the silly right people on the right. We call people out when they make mistakes, just like Steven's made a mistake here. And I don't care. I don't have a dog in the fight. Steven wants to come after me, fine. You know, I don't have a problem with any of that. I would say this to anybody. The reason why I'm making this video is because I love those Down syndrome kids. I love Down syndrome people. I think they represent the best of us. And the left wants to trick you into believing that they don't. They want to trick you into believing that they're God's wasted product. That is a lie. They're the closest thing we have to understanding what God is about. And for Steven to get tricked into this by the left, to get suckered, is part of the reason why I'm in this movement. And I'm not telling you I can't be suckered. I tell people all the time, leftism is tricky. I've got a PhD in how to fight them. And I don't recommend people try to get inside of their head because it's crazy up in there. But I will tell you this. I now know what the tricks are. And if they want to trick you into believing that a Down syndrome baby, that if you get diagnosed with a Down syndrome baby, you need to get rid of it, or that those people shouldn't be walking the earth, because that's where they're headed. That's where they're headed. They want to determine who is good for the world and who isn't. Well, who gets to make that decision? In the 1860s, Black people weren't good for the world. Poor people aren't good for the world. And Soylent Green, you know, you're too old, you're not good for the world in some cultures. There are a lot of people who decide this, but the people deciding this shouldn't be, because everybody on this planet has a purpose. 2 days that are the most important in your life, folks. The day you were born and the day you find out what you were born to do. And you know what? Billions of people never find out what they were born to do. But that doesn't mean they're any less significant or insignificant. They are significant. Sadly, they may not have found it. They may not have flourished in it, garnered it, cultivated it, but they had it. And I refuse to let people think that because a kid has a disease or a syndrome, that they're not worth it, because they are. And I truly believe that. Thanks for listening.